We continue to track the slow recovery from Fiona on Prince Edward Island. Maritime Electric says more than 2,800 customers are still without power, and the pace of reconnection slowed over the weekend. People still left in the dark say their frustration is building and they feel forgotten. The financial toll to the province also becoming clear.
As a province so far, we've pledged about $70 million just in immediate relief. That really doesn't take into effect the entire disaster relief program. I've heard numbers as high as $700 million in the Atlantic region. I'd have to think P.E.I. is making up at least half of that, an overall damage. So I think it's going to be in the hundreds of millions overall when you pull in all the insurance claims and everything else. And then it's the damage going forward. Like, we have a lot of shoreline damage. We have a lot of damage on our woodlots and our trees across P.E.I. There's a lot of damage here that we're going to feel the effects of for a long time. But in terms of, hard and fast dollars, I wouldn't be shocked if this comes in over $500 million when it's all said and done.
So that's overall. For individual islanders, also major impact. The Red Cross has opened up 2 reception centers on the island to help people who qualify for relief support, that payment of $250 that the province offered. But some islanders had to wait hours in line to prove they are who they say they are and to qualify for that money. The Red Cross says more than 28,000 households have received the money. But let's bring in Fiona Desjardins, who's on the story for us this morning and live in Charlottetown. Good to see you again on this, Fiona. Here we are, day 19 now. What is happening with the reconnecting work today?
Yeah, so more than 200 crews have been out working to restore that power, but it's slow work. And that's because of the damage from the storm. Now, Maritime Electric knew that there was significant damage, but it says that crews are finding even more damage than they expected when they get on those work sites. Power lines are down, trees are still down. The Premier described it as a tangled web that takes a long time to untangle. So for the most part, it's places like Stanhope and Cavendish on the North Shore that still don't have electricity. But just looking at the Maritime Electric website this morning, even spots in Charlottetown, businesses, households don't have electricity here. So the company was originally aiming to have everyone or almost everyone restored by last Friday. Now the goal is this Friday. So for some, that'll mean, 3 weeks without power.
And of course, it's such a source of frustration for people as this time clicks on. We were talking about those long lines at Red Cross centers, Fiona, to get money, some confusion over identification. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because more money has been promised, but how are people coping? Are they getting the money they'd been promised? How are they managing?
Yeah, so people are getting frustrated. We did hear about those people in those long lines yesterday, some people waiting up to 4 hours, some people at the end of the line not even knowing if they were going to make it to the front. So people are frustrated, but communities are rallying to help each other out. We saw that just this past weekend over Thanksgiving, where neighbors opened their doors up to those who didn't have power so that they could enjoy, a Thanksgiving meal, a hot meal. We're also seeing that with generators. One person gets their power back, so they bring the generator over and they lend it to their neighbor who still doesn't have electricity. But I think for the most part, everyone is just hoping to get their own lights back on right now. So as I mentioned, the hope now is this Friday. So fingers are crossed that Islanders can have their lights and their heat back on for this weekend.
Yes, Fiona, thank you very much. And there's more online on this story, CBCNews.ca. As we take a look at that, the Red Cross did announce that people in need will receive an additional $500 in financial assistance. They're opening another center in Summerside today, as a matter of fact, to ease some of the burden in getting the financial relief to people who need it. So more on that to come. And as I said, CBCNews.ca for additional online information.